we were able to create a much bigger, better, emotive film, particularly in the battle scenes, because of the ADR process. Hi, I'm Justine Angus, and I was the supervising ADR editor.
Hi, I'm Liam Price. I'm the sound effects editor, and I did all the guns and bullet sounds.
My name is Peter Grace, and I'm the location sound recordist on Hacksaw Ridge.
Private Das, you are free to run into the hellfire of battle without a single weapon to protect yourself.
Being a World War II period film, the guns had to be authentic to that time period. But there are a lot of people who come to a Hollywood movie and expect the big kind of OTT kind of gun sound. So we had to find that balance between the two. The direction I got was that we need to be right in there with the action and feel like we are actually part of that advance that happened back in the 1940s on Okinawa. The best way to do it was we tried to find real gun sounds that existed, and I got a list of all the guns and what they were and which side was using what kind of gun, and I tried to find and source those actual gun sounds. Some worked, some didn't. Some I could have made feel very authentic, but they just didn't have that dramatic hit. So I had the authentic gun and I embellished it with all sorts of stuff. I had bullet impacts on metal, I had AK-47 machine guns, I had modern day machine guns mixed in to create a gun that just had sonic impact as well as dramatic impact. So it was a delicate balance.
Dance! Move out!
There was this concept of the hero gun versus the background guns. Rob and I gave the main character guns a lot more focus, so I would track layer a lot more sounds around those guns and give those guns a lot more detail, and a lot more fatness and proximity, so you always felt you were with those characters all the time. There was a lot of tracks there, 48 or something, just for main character guns. And the best example of that is Smitty's gun, the character Smitty. He has this big machine gun. In real life that didn't sound that great. And with all the other sounds of war going on at the same time, his needed to sound really kick-ass. Also when Smitty is firing his big BAR machine gun, it was like boop, 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 had this resonance and filled the room and rumble. So you added a lot more detail, so you had all the bullet shells falling out, which Rob and I called the ding-a-lings. Ding-a-ling-ling-ling. So I just wanted to identify the heroes on the battlefield because they got the ding-a-ling treatment. The firepower of the different sides had to be really obvious. The US guns had more high caliber bullets. They're the V8 of guns, so like, blah, blah, blah. They needed to sound big and dominating, sort of more loud and proud. Whereas the Japanese, they were lower in caliber and firepower, but they're more accurate. Like they had better technology to create these deadly accurate rifles. In the film, you don't really see the Japanese soldiers shooting the guns that much. It was all about the accuracy, so it wasn't really about the gun sounds, it was more about the whizzes of the Japanese guns. And so I added more bullet whizzing sounds to the Japanese firing rather than the Americans. So you got that sense of deadly accuracy and that kind of shocking moment of, you don't hear the gunshot, but you feel the effect of it afterwards.
Where the hell are they? I can't see nothing!
Whereas we're with the American soldiers for the most part, so all their guns are just right there, very present within that immediate kind of action around the camera in our perspective.
Get out of here, kid!
The battle scenes, most of that dialogue had to be replaced. Whether it was for technical reasons because there was noise all over it. Some of it was used, but to be fair, probably 50% of the film ended up being ADR. Fabulous opportunity in that case for Mel to get better performances out of the actors, particularly again in the battle scene, because they're very much caught up in the moment of trying to deliver the right action performance-wise without necessarily having the heightened response that you would have in that war scenario because they're delivering their lines, they're getting their body movements right, they're doing everything that needs to be done choreographically. But sometimes there would be energy lacking. So getting those performances out of the actors was what Mel was particularly good at doing. We were able to create a much bigger, better, emotive film, particularly in the battle scenes, because of the ADR process.
I'll be okay. Go, go. Reese, come on, get our back. We got it. Okay, see you soon.
Mel would be literally in the studio right next to the actor and be workshopping with them the whole time to get them G'd up to a level where we'd be recording take after take after take. He'd change performance, he'd even change dialogue if necessary, and explore different performances with the actors. So then I'd go back and I'd cut all the ADR together, and Mel would have lots of options to play with. The fact that he has been an actor means that he's got a great dialogue with the other actors. He knows how to get what he wants out of them. It is some of the best ADR I've ever had the pleasure to work with.
It's the best ADR I've ever seen. In fact, there are various signatures that you always have for ADR. Often it's a lack of sync. Often it's the wrong microphone. It's a different sound, or it's a different room or a different environment, and so it's not matching the outgoing sync. Also, intensity of performance.
That's a big giveaway, really.
That's a big giveaway,
Yeah.
isn't it? And it's also a physicality of voice and mouth and face and all sorts of things that is hard to match. None of those signatures were present. I couldn't tell when I first saw the film what was sync and what wasn't. I couldn't pick the ADR, and that's a first for me. I've never been in a situation like that before.
Jump on it.
You're kidding.
Oh, I'm gonna drag you.
We hope you enjoyed this video, and for more content like this, subscribe to AFTRS.